Ramakatha Rasavahini, Prema Sudhamritavahini, Sathya Sanatani Dharma Swarupini, Shanti Pradayini Mokshakarini, Ramakatha Rasavahini, Ramakatha Rasavahini.
Sai Ram, everyone. Just to recollect where we were in the study of Ramakatha Rasavahini, we are studying the second chapter, where Swami is describing the lineage of Sri Rama. Swami started with Emperor Katwanga. Katwanga had one son by the name Dilipa, and Dilipa was married to Sudakshana, and they did not have any children. So after many years, the King Dilipa was a bit concerned because not only he does not have a son, the royal lineage also will not continue, and that was a concern for him. So he and his wife, he discussed it with his wife Sudakshana, and both of them approached sage Vasishta, who after deep meditation informed them that there's a curse on sage King Dilipa, because he had at one point in time, while returning to the palace, he had seen the Kamadhenu, the wish-fulfilling cow, but he did not pay attention to it. He ignored it, and he was caught up in thoughts about the world, and he also had some level of ahankara, as Swami said. And because of that, the Kamadhenu, or the divine cow, celestial cow, pronounced a curse on him, saying that a king who does not respect cows and does not offer worship to them is not good as a king, and his lineage should not continue because that will bring a downfall of Dharma. Explaining this curse to Sage King Dilipa, Sage Vasishta asked him to offer worship to Nandini, the Kamadhenu, in the ashram. And he told him that it's time, it's evening time, the cows are returning home. So it's a good time for you to go and offer your homage and worship and serve the cow. And he gave him instructions of how to serve and worship the cow. And with blessings, he sent him off. I think that's what we had read. So I will stop here. We can just read, I guess, the slide which is in front of us once. And if anyone has some, which we have already discussed, but if anyone would like to share any thoughts you may have had in the past week about this passage, we can discuss. So I will ask Uncle Gopalan to read the slide. Thank you.
Kamadhenu cursed you that day that you should have no son to succeed to your throne. She declared, however, that when you take the advice of the Guru and start in humility and reverence to serve the cow and worship her in gratitude, the curse will be rendered infructuous, and you will be rewarded with a son and an heir. Therefore, worship the cow from this moment with your queen as laid down in the sacred text, and you are certain to have a son. The hour is near when the cows start returning home from the pasture. My treasure, the divine cow, Nandini, is fast approaching the hermitage. Go, serve her with devotion and steady faith. Give her food and drink at appropriate hours. Wash the cow and take her out to the pastures and see that no harm comes to her while she grazes. Vasishtha then initiated the king and the queen in the ritualistic vow of cow worship, Dena Vrata. He sent them into the cowshed with holy water and offerings for the worship, and himself walked towards the river for ablutions and evening prayers.
Thank you very much, Uncle. So I will just open it up for the participants. If anyone would like to share any thoughts on this, if you've had any thoughts. If not, we can proceed. I guess there are no volunteers, so let's proceed. I think advance. Yes, Sai Ram, Uncle, continue.
One day, while Nandini was grazing happily in the jungle, a lion espied her and followed her in order to allay his anger. Dilipa observed this. He used all his skill and might to foil the lion from pouncing on her. He resolved to offer his own body in exchange. That lion, though feline and ferocious, was strict follower of Dharma. Moved by compassion at the sacrifice that the king was willing to make to save the cow that he worshipped, it realized the cow and the king. It released the cow and the king from his clutches and left the place. Nandini was filled with an inexpressible sense of gratitude and joy at the self-sacrificing gesture of Dilipa. She said, "King, this moment the curse that afflicts you is lifted. You will have a son who will subdue the whole world, support the principles and practice of Dharma, earn renown on earth and in heaven, enhance the fame of the dynasty, and more all, continue the Ikshvaku line wherein Lord himself, Narayana, will one day take birth. May this son be born soon." Nandini blessed the king. Attended by the king, the sacred cow returned to the ashram of Vasishtha.
Thank you, Uncle. So I think I think Mani Aunty was unable to join on time, so maybe I will read. The Telugu, Sai Satish, can you attempt to translate, please? Sai Satish.
Sure, Anna, I can do that.
Okay, thank you. ఒకనాడు నందిని మేయుచు ఆరణ్యమున సంచరించు సమయమున
One day, Nandini, while grazing in the forest during that time,
ఒక సింహము నందిని పై బడి భుజింప జూచెను.
one lion chanced upon Nandini and planned to devour her.
అది దిలీపుడు గమనించి
That was observed by Dilipa.
నందిని రక్షించుటకు
To protect Nandini,
తన సర్వశక్తులు ఉపయోగించి
he used all his powers that he had.
కడకు తన ప్రాణమునైన వీడి దేహమును సింహమున కప్పజెప్ప పూనుకొనెను.
At the end, he readied himself to offer his very life in place of the cow.
Yeah, so he was willing to offer his body and leave his life.
Yeah, leave it. Yes, sir.
క్రూర మృగమైనప్పటికిని సింహము పరమ ధర్మ నిష్ఠ గలది.
even though the lion was ferocious, it was a strict follower of Dharma.
నందిని కామధేనువును రక్షించుటకు రాజు తన కాయమైనను విడుటకు పూనుకొట్టొచ్చే.
Since the king was ready to give up his body to protect the Nandini in the form of Kamadhenu,
దయతలచి నందిని దేనువును రాజును ఎట్టి బాధలు పెట్టక విడిచిపోయాను.
out of compassion, without harming the king or Nandini, the lion left.
ఈ సమయమున తన ప్రాణమున కాపాడిన దిలీపునిపై నందిని అమోఘమైన కృతజ్ఞతాపూర్వకమైన ఆనందమును తెలుపుచు,
Nandini expressed her immense gratitude and joy on account on this gesture done by the king.
రాజా, నేటికి నీ శాపము విమోచనమైనది.
O king, your curse has been redeemed as of now.
నీకు విశ్వ విజయుడును ధర్మాత్ముడును త్రిలోక విఖ్యాతిని పొందువాడును
a son who will be dharmic,
విశ్వ విజయుడు,
he's who will be a conqueror of the entire world,
త్రిలోక విఖ్యాతిని పొందువాడును,
who will attain fame in all the three worlds,
కులకీర్తిని నిలబెట్టువాడును,
who will maintain the fame of the clan,
కలుగును.
you will obtain such a son.
అంతేకాక అతని వంశమందే
Not only that, in that very lineage itself,
శ్రీమన్నారాయణుడే అవతరించును.
the Lord Narayana himself will be a descendant of that lineage.
అట్టి సుపుత్రుడు అతి శీఘ్రములో ప్రాప్తించునుగాక.
Such a good son be born to you at the earliest. I bless you so.
అని ఆశీర్వదించు.
Blessing so,
రాజుతో కూడి ఆశ్రమునకు వచ్చెను.
along with the king, she returned to the ashram.
Okay, thank you. So I will stop here. Okay, Manihatiki, just no, sorry, thank you.
Sai Ram.
Sai Ram. So as you can, I think it's the story is nicely narrated by Swami of how Dilipa was willing to sacrifice his body and life to protect Nandini, the celestial cow, and through which he was redeemed from the curse. So I will stop here. If anyone would like to discuss any aspect of what we have read and how it's applicable to us and how we can also learn something from that. Yes, Aishan, please go ahead.
It's more a question, Uncle. So in this scenario, is it that, like, can you just explain what, like, the significance of the lion, like, is it to be that the lion represents, like, our like, is it desires for certain things, and that through sacrifice is how we overcome it, and we, like, release ourselves from the clutches of those desires? Is that the significance, or is there some other significance to it?
Yeah, I think Saisha straight away has gone to the subtlest meaning, but thanks for the question, Saisha, and I will open it up for anyone who would like to comment on the questions posed by Saisha. Is there a subtle meaning for this incident? Is Saishin's question. So I think we can discuss it at the bodily level, the mental level, and also a spiritual level, I guess. So I will open it up for anyone who would like to comment. What can we learn from this incident? And so thank you. Yes, Auntie Mani, please go.
Protecting a helpless person, and it is our duty to take care of such people. And if we have that strength and bravery, we should go ahead. Sai Ram.
Thank you very much, Auntie. Anyone else would like to share any thoughts, please?
Sai Ramana.
Yeah, yes, please go ahead, Sai.
One thing that we can see at the physical level is how even animals followed Dharma in those ancient times. Very clearly, we can see that the lion is a ferocious beast. It has come for its kill, but the moment it realizes that there is a person who is willing to sacrifice their life to protect its prey, it steps aside. So one thing we can see how it's not just human beings following Dharma, it's about such a ferocious beast as a lion following the Dharma. So which clearly says how the dictates of Dharma in that age, which is an eye-opener to how one should lead one's life, even at the cost of physicality of hunger. The animal is able to keep aside that hunger because it's able to sense how a person is doing sacrifice, and then it is like goodness begets goodness. It sees the king sacrifice, and the king is able wanting to sacrifice his body, and then the lion feels, what is me sacrificing my lunch or dinner, kind of a thing. So that kind of a thing that is prompted is at the physical level, and the mental level, of course, like what Saishan was mentioning. I think it comes to more and more of what is it that one can sacrifice. So ultimately, Dileepa is able to let go. He very well knows why he has come there, to serve Nandini, to beget a son who's going to take care of the entire clan. And at that point, he's able to keep aside his personal desire and is completely devoted to protecting the cow. And that's where I think when that selfishness goes away and selflessness flows, I think blessings also flow. So that is another level at the mental plane, how the sacrifice of the self, that which is the small I at his body level and so on, gets the blessings of the divine. So at that level, but I'll stop here, Sai Ram.
Thank you very much, Sai Satish. Thank you. Anyone else would like to comment, please? Yes, Sanjay, please go ahead.
Sai Ram. No, I was trying to understand this whole concept of prayaschitta. Oftentimes, say for example, we live in times where there are any number of people that will provide solutions for the various problems we have in our life. Somebody will say, go break a coconut here, go to that temple there, do some puja and stuff like that. And then we think that will solve our problem. And then if does not solve our problem, we go to the next solution. And we keep running after solution after solution. And I feel here in the previous slide where Swami says he approached the sage with reverence and what is the other word? I think it was humility, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, humility and reverence, at least in English. the prerequisites for even atoning for one's sins. That was one of the things. And then what should prayaschitta lead to? What should come out on the other side? And that is kind of becomes a little bit clear in this section. The purification of one's being, oneself, self in the sense, I mean one's own mind, the purification, the transformation that occurs in one's mind, for him to have the compassion to jump to the rescue of another animal by giving up his own life. What an amazing transformation that could be. Maybe he was already that way before that, but it highlights that transformation that has to occur, by which atonement is accomplished, not just by the external act itself. And it also goes to the often misunderstood or confused correlation between karma and grace. Swami has said, Swami has mentioned this in several places, how his grace flows and when his grace flows, and what is the nature of the grace. So yeah, I mean, I'm not sharing any thoughts, but more so formulating my questions and thoughts on the subject, on what is the prerequisite for prayaschitta and what has to be the way in which that has to be done, what has to be the outcome of it, and also in terms of understanding grace, is it a partial God sitting somewhere and deciding who gets a little bit of grace, who does not get a little bit of grace? Or is it just a manifestation of our own sadhana, our own purification that manifests itself as grace in our lives? So I just thought I would. It's not really a question or answer, but more a random collection of thoughts.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, Sanjay. Yes, Sai Ram, Sister Shubha.
Sai Ram, I just had a question. So, Swami has said that the lion was a strict follower of Dharma. But isn't it the Dharma of the lion to kill when it is hungry? So I'm just like contradictor at this point. If you can elaborate on that.
Very good question, Shubha. Very good question. Anyone who would like to attempt? You can share any other thought for the first question, and also to Shubha's question. How can its lion following its dharma is the question, because it has to survive too. So yes, sister.
Sai Ram,
Yes.
Sai Ram, brother.
Sai Ram.
One more thing we can consider discussing. It's just as it's based on everyone's thought they have shared. Even the cow is leading and going. He's sacrificing. I know he's sacrificing his hunger. Does that symbolize anything, or is that anything that we should be taking a lesson from that? No sacrifice. There's anything, something else that is signifies. That also we can cover in our discussion. That's just my thought. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you very much, sister. Thank you. You have already wanted to discuss, but you started the discussion. But if anyone would like to continue about the sacrifice of the lion. Yes, Sai Satish, please go ahead.
Ramana. So again, I think it is at what level do we see, like how it is said that for the sake of a family, the individual can be sacrificed. For the sake of society, the family can be sacrificed. For the sake of the country, society can be sacrificed. And for the sake of the world, the country can be sacrificed. And for the sake of the self, that is the highest Atman, the whole world can be sacrificed. So in that context of dharma, no doubt the dharma of the lion is to satisfy its physical hunger. But what is the greater dharma that rules is now whether it goes with deha dharma or atma dharma, whether it is swadharma or paradharma. And at that point in time, the swadharma or atma dharma takes a higher precedence. And when the lion clearly sees pure selfless sacrifice come from the king, automatically what it needs for its deha dharma in terms of sustenance, that also it's again the same thing. Selflessness begets that selflessness, so it's able to sacrifice its own thing of hunger. And I think the karuna rasa, what was essenced in the earlier chapter as well, is flowing not just from the king but also from the lion, which in turn brings again the karuna from Nandini. Ultimately, if you see in that scenario, everyone is essencing that karuna rasa, which ultimately redeems the king of that curse as well. Sai Ram.
Thank you very much, Sai Satish. Swami had told us to taste the karuna rasa throughout the Ramakatha Rasavahini, and it's coming through very clearly and nicely highlighted by Sai Satish. Anyone else would like to comment? There's no one. So it's very nice actually. We have this. Yes, Auntie, please go ahead. Auntie Mani.
During Treta Yuga, the predominant quality was in all, even in the animals, sattvic guna. That sattvic guna, that lion exhibited, leaving off its ferocious nature, and just it showed how even an animal, that karuna rasa, that dayalu, that compassion, even in a ferocious animals we could find. And King Dileepa on his part also shows that even if he is ready to sacrifice his own life for the sake of protecting an animal, that also shows how great he was, Dileepa. Sai Ram.
Thank you very much, Auntie. Thank you. Just to sort of, I think, summarize all what has been shared, I think Sanjay brought up this atonement for a mistake which we have committed. How do we undo the mistake which we have committed through repentance and so on? But the repentance also has to translate into action. And Dileepa showed that service is the only way. And Swami, I think there's a quotation which Swami says, Natapam Sinatirthanam, and so on. And he says, Sajjanam Sevanam Vina. Samsara, to redeem ourselves from this world, serving the good is the best way to do that. He said, so I think service as a means of atoning for our sins is a very good upaya, or solution which has been given by Sage Vasishta. And so Dileepa practices it diligently, and through that and through his ability to transform, to sacrifice his own self, he was also able to bring out the best of a lion also. It was about to eat, but it saw the dharma of karuna rasa of the king, compassion of the king, of such self-sacrificing, that the lion also was able to transform it. And so I think it was also able to know, though not only it was looking at the prey, but it was also observing the practice of dharma around it. So I think we also can turn around any negative situation through such adherence to dharma, because we can bring about changes in other people as well. I think it's something. So we at least we can also become like the cow. Like the lion. Though we may be cruel by nature, if we can practice some dharma, that will be a good thing. And after seeing Swami and witnessing, I think we should strive to be that. So something like that. And I think Saishan had asked about what is the significance of that. So the thing is, we are nothing but the Atman, as Swami would say. The mind is also something which attacks us all the time. Because Krishna says in the in chapter 6 about the mind. He says, Chanchalam hi mana Krishna pramati bhalavat trida. That it's capable of causing much harm, the mind. So mind itself can be a cruel animal. It will always look for something to eat. All the indriyas, it's always trying to consume through the indriyas. But that also will change if only we as an individual practice Atma Dharma. So our mind also can be brought under control through that sadhana. I think that's also something which we can take. When we do that, as Swami, as Kamadhenu, the wish-fulfilling cow says, Sriman Narayana himself will be born. So even for the Lord to be born in our heart, self-sacrifice is an essential component. Cultivating compassion in us is also another way to achieve that. Then only the divinity can be taking place in our own heart. It's also, I think, some comes through. I think somebody had asked about Ikshvaku. Swami has mentioned the Ikshvaku also here, one of the ancient kings of that lineage. So I will stop here. If anyone else would like to share any thoughts, as Manianti said, in Treta Yuga, Sattva Guna is a predominant feature also. That also comes through here. Yes, Shubha, please go ahead.
Sai Ramana, just to follow up question. So like I understand so in Treta Yuga, the Sattvic guna was the predominant emotion, but then like to bring that over here now, Kali Yuga is it's not a level field, right? So I'm trying to see how we can strive to be Sattvic, but when the other side, like it is not always, the other person will also not be Sattvic. So how do we bring this concept in our daily living?
Thank you, Shubha. So Shubha's question is, okay, if Treta Yuga was a good Yuga, then what is our Lord? Because we are in Kali Yuga. We may not see such transformations among the lions which may around us. I think that's a question. Very valid question, Shubha. So I will open it up to others. So is this practical even, for us? I think that's also another question. I think it's good for us to discuss and have some clarity. Thank you for the question. I will open it up for anyone to share your thoughts.
Sai Ram.
Sai Ram Shankarana, please go ahead.
Just thinking, in not only in Treta Yuga, even in Sathya Yuga, there are evil minds or evil people around, and I think Kali Yuga probably more evil minds, more so the difficulties on us to be away from them and then do it is the challenge. But I think even though it is Treta Yuga, it's a pious period, but there were some evil minds and evil thoughts prevailing there at the time as well. That's my thinking.
Thank you very much, Anna. Thanks for that. Yes, Sai Satish, please go ahead.
Sai Ramana. So I was just, I think we have discussed this in another point where we say that the yuga part is more at the individual's, the makeup of their mind. So somebody can be in Kali Yuga but still have a mental makeup of Sathya Yuga, whereas somebody can be in Sathya Yuga or Treta Yuga and have a mental makeup of Kali Yuga. So that is there. So for in Treta Yuga, Rama was always in Sathya Yuga and Ravana was always in Kali Yuga. That part is one thing. But the other part is, if we take this story of Lord Rama himself, the easiest thing for Lord Rama to have done on the day he was supposed to be coronated, when Kaikeyi asked those boons, was to just say that let's just wait for Bharata to come and discuss. That's all. He could have said that. And we know that the Ramayana would have then turned out to be different. Even if Kaikeyi would ask the boons, clearly Bharata would have said no, and it would have been. But the thing is, I think in the spiritual path, it's always the tougher, the road less tread upon. So we take even the what happened with the Pandavas when Arjuna came along with Draupadi and Mother Kunti said, share that gift amongst the five of you. The easiest thing they would have said is, Mother, you didn't know that this was a lady, you thought it's a gift. But then we know how that outcome completely changed Mahabharata. So at any point in time, I think it comes down to what is the toughness or what is that state of mind which will make us go through that, taking it even that as a blessing of the Lord, even in a very, very desperate situation, which can be turned around by giving a convenient explanation. So even when we land up with somebody who says, you show the left cheek, they slap, and you show the right cheek, that also they slap, then again, what do we do becomes the next question. So it is to that extent of, like, if you take the sandalwood tree, it gives the smell of the sweet fragrance of the sandalwood even to the axe that cuts it. So to what extent? Or we know the story of the person where the scorpion was going on stinging him and he was trying to save it. So the nature of the scorpion is to sting and the nature of that person is to save. So it comes back again, time and again, to what extent can I stretch myself and stay in tune with the Atma Dharma? Possibly it may look for the world at a level of insanity, but then the person is so established in the self that nothing on the outer outcome matters, because the inner enemy is what is continuously being conquered, and the outer enemy is more of a reflection of what the world perceives. Sai Ram.
Thank you very much, Sai Satish. Thank you. Any other thoughts, please? Yes, Aishan, please go ahead.
Sorry, it's more of just a follow-up question to Shubha Akka's question. Is it that regardless of it being Kali Yuga or Treta Yuga, that we as individuals have to, through self-sacrificing gestures or sadhana, overcome this identification with the body and the mind, and that is attained through the sadhana and the self-sacrificing gestures that you do. And so does it really depend on other individuals?
Yeah, so it's a good question. I think because no one, if anyone wants to volunteer, please raise your hand. Others I will speak. See, let's take the story of Prahlada. That was even Sathya Yuga. It was before Treta Yuga. So Prahlada evinced the best of, he was accepting everything his father did. He was a great devotee. That did not change him. That did not turn him. So, we would have expected that nothing like that should have happened in Treta Yuga. But the father was, inflicting such harm on his own son. But what happened to Prahlada was the Dharma, Atma Dharma, which he followed, protected him. Because there is the saying, Dharmo Rakshati Rakshita. Whoever protects Dharma will always be protected by Dharma by in its turn. So the thing is, I don't think it changes from yuga to yuga, because whoever practices dharma will be protected by dharma itself. So I think we should not have any doubt about that, because the Shastras declare so, number one. Number two, though the Kali Yuga is predominantly negative, there are more bad around us, everyone. The sadhana also has been a bit more lenient. In Kali, just Namasmarana itself can give moksha. So I think when difficult times, there's a bit of leniency in terms of sadhana also. So there are, even though the surrounding is bad, there are some easy tools available to us. But ultimately, there should be the level of self-sacrifice or compassion trumps everything. Is, I think, we have to take care. So I think, Shubha, even though we are living in Kali Yuga, we should be happy that we have Swami. And that itself is a great blessing. In Rama Avatara, no one knew Rama was divine. In Krishna
Right.
Avatara, very few people knew. So, so we should take heart that, we have also been blessed with the knowledge, with the tools to succeed. And things are made simpler in Kali Yuga. So with some simple sadhana, with a sense of sacrifice, showing compassion where it's needed, and considering others over ourselves, I think we can do miracles. Because we are not the ones who are doing, the Lord will do.
Right.
Okay, Sai Ram, I hope that.
Sai Ram. Okay.
Sai Ram. Does anyone have something to share, please? I guess not so. So we will proceed to the next. Okay, Sai Ram, Sister Shilpa, please go ahead.
Sai Ram, according to Dharma Vahini, Yuga is not a mere passage of time. It's a change in Dharma. How you practice Dharma, according to Treta Yuga or Krita Yuga or Dwapar Yuga. They have qualities showed in each yuga, and in like Kali Yuga, if person is following righteousness, all four qualities, then he is in a golden age, Krita Yuga. Like the qualities were given in the Dharma Vahini. And the other question was asked about lion. It could be an opportunity given by Swami to test how, before giving, like Bhagawanji has chosen parents themselves, right, to come to the earth, and before that, those parents should be at that purity level, and the mistake or faults, whatever we have inside, he will make us more pure from our heart and then give whatever boons he wants to give. So it was another opportunity for sage, from sage or from Bhagwanji to king. Sai Ram.
Thank you very much, sister. Thank you very much. I think Sister Shilpa has nicely brought out the role of parents and their cultivation of sattvic and dharmic tendencies will also ensure that the lineage also continues in that form. That also comes through. Thank you very much, sister. And she has nicely spoken about the dharma in the Dharma Vahini, which Swami has spoken about. We can change any situation into a good yuga by the practice of the good virtues which are described, to cultivate that around us. Thank you very much, sister. I think Sanjay, you had raised your hand and then put down.
No, I just wanted to add to what you and Satish had said. I think oftentimes this is a common hurdle we come across, even when we're trying to be good. We come across people that may be bringing out not the best part of us in our interactions. And I think one of the easiest method to kind of help us on that path is to be mindful of the company we keep. One, and second, I think in one of the earlier recordings that I was listening to, this was discussed. Can we be the light in other people's, or can we be the support for other people, or share something nice, good with other people? Thirdly, is I think we tend to attract the people who have the qualities we have. And so when we see something in them that is not necessarily very appealing or good, it is probably an indication that that similar quality may be in us, and it's an opportunity that Swami is giving us. Like, look, it's not so good, it's not so pleasant, right? So can we work on it? And lastly, I would say, I think, is to look at the lives of good people who are around us, who are also living in the same yuga as we are, and who manage to retain their goodness and stay good despite everything else that they're also maybe experiencing. So take strength from that to deal with such situations. I just wanted to share those 4 points.
Very nice, Sanjit. Very nice. Thank you very much. So, there are so many angles from which we can learn from words of Swami in this Ramakatha Rasavahini, just so elevating. That's all I can say. We can move to the next slide, if it's okay.
Vasishtha had no need to be told. He knew all. As soon as he saw the faces of the king and the queen, he surmised that their wish was fulfilled. So he blessed them and permitted them to leave for the city. Then Dilipa and the queen Sudakshina prostrated before the sage and reached the palace, full of joy at the happy turn of events. The child grew in the womb as the blessings guaranteed. When the months ran their full course, at an auspicious moment, the son was born. When the happy tidings spread over the city and the kingdom, thousands assembled before and around the palace in great joy. The streets were festooned with flags and green leaves. Groups of people danced in glee, calling on all to share in the thrill. They waved camphor flames to mark the occasion. Huge crowds exclaimed, "Jai, Jai," and moved on towards the palace grounds. Dilipa ordered that the birth of their heir to the empire to be announced to the multitude gathered in the vast grounds of the palace by the minister himself. And when he did so, the joyous acclamation of the throng hit the sky. The applause was loud and long. The jays echoed and re-echoed from one street to another. It took many hours for the gathering to disperse and reach home.
Thank you very much, Uncle. Auntie, shall we read the Telugu?
గురువు సర్వజ్ఞడగుటచే వారల మోము చూచిన వెంటనే మీ అభిష్టము నెరవేరిదనియు.
So the Guru, who was all-knowing, by just looking at their faces, right away he realized that their wish has been fulfilled.
ఇక మీరు మీ రాజ్యమునకు వెళ్ళవచ్చును అనియు ఆశీర్వదించెను.
Now you can return to your kingdom. Thus he blessed them.
అంత దిలీప మహారాజు రాణితో గురువునకు నమస్కరించి,
So then the king Dilipa, along with the queen, he bowed down to the Guru.
ఆశ్రమవాసుల దగ్గర సెలవు తీసుకుని,
He also took leave from all the residents of that ashrama.
నందినికి ప్రదక్షిణ నమస్కారములు గావించి,
He went around the cow Nandini, divine cow, celestial cow Nandini, went around and also bowed down to it.
రాజధానికి చేరెను.
He went back to this capital.
Yeah. నాటి నుండియే రాణి గర్భమున కుమారుడు పెరుగ మొదలెడెను.
From that time onwards, the queen conceived and the child started growing.
10వ మాసము నిండి ఒక సుముహూర్తమున పుత్నరత్నము కలిగెను.
On the 10th month, on an auspicious muhurta or time, a gem of a son was born.
ఈ వార్త పురజనులకు తెలియగానే
As soon as the city dwellers came to know of this news,
వీధులకు తోరణములను అలంకరించుచువారును,
they decorated the streets with festoons and green leaves.
నాట్యములు సలుపువారును,
They danced on the streets.
హారతులు ఎత్తలవారును జయ జయ ధ్వనులతో వార్ల సంతోషములు వర్ణనాతీతమై.
So their joys knew no bounds, and they also waved flames of arati and shouted Jai Jai.
రాజభవనకు సమీపంలో బాలురు దీరి వేల జనులు చేరుట చేత.
So there were thousands of people who gathered around the palace, near the palace.
దిలీప మహారాజు మంత్రితో ప్రజలకు ఈ శుభవార్తను అందింపుమని ఆజ్ఞాపించెను.
So the King Dilipa commanded the minister to share the good news with all those who had gathered.
మంత్రి భవనమునకు ముందు విశాల ప్రదేశమున చేరిన వేలాది ప్రజలకు.
So the minister accosted the people who had, the thousands of people who had gathered near the palace, in front of the palace.
మనకు కుమార రాజా పుట్టెనను శుభవార్త తెలుపగానే.
And he announced that for us a prince is born, and that good news was shared by him.
కరతాళములచే జేజేలుచే అందరూ వారి వారి గృహములకు వెళ్ళిరి.
So everyone clapped their hands and shouted Jai Jai, and after that they all returned to their homes.
And that's all I think I have.
Yes, Auntie, thank you. So nicely Swami is describing how the child was born to the king and how everyone rejoiced hearing that. So I will stop here. Anything which we can learn from these words of Swami, with each from the time when Vasishtha knew that the wish was fulfilled and so on. Anyone can share what crosses your mind, what you found. Yes, Sai Ram, please go ahead.
One thing I noticed in the beginning, Akko, in the Telugu version of it, I think in the English it's not captured, but although I think Swami talks about Vasishtha knowing already, he also mentioned that as they got the news, Dilipa and the queen also acknowledged the ashram folks as well as Nandini. It wasn't just Vasishtha. That stuck out to me.
Very nice action. Yes, I know the English translation has ignored the residents of the ashram, but King Dilipa did not. And Swami is showing us how when we leave a place, how we should not ignore anyone, however great or small they could be, and we should give everyone equal respect, and that shows the quality of King Dilipa. Very nice session. Thanks. Yes, Sai Ram, Ron or Bina, one of you.
Sai Ram, our observation is very similar to Saishan's. It's just on reflecting on it, it's not only the good manners of King Dilipa, but also especially in terms of him paying respect to Nandini. So it's not as though Nandini was simply a means to a selfish end, right? He was honoring Nandini in and of herself. So it's just these wonderful details that Swami has written in are just a delight.
And also, I would like to add that how it shows here from King Deva's and the Queen side that how great bhakti for the Guru also, that until their purpose is achieved, they did not leave the ashram. They were not going back to the city. It implies here. So that's very fascinating. They're very much obedient in that case to self completely until they achieve something. So Guru Bhakti is it's a greater level here, I see.
Thank you very much, Ron and Bina. Yes, very nice. You know how much not only his office work, also he sacrificed the king. You know, because the Guru said so, and you know he did not say, you know, I have some important work in the palace. You know, nothing of that sort. You know, that is the level of Guru Bhakti. Very nice, Bina, to point that out, and how determined they were in achieving, you know, what they set out to. That also is one-pointed and determined effort, Shraddha. And Ron, nice points, you know, these details matter, and we should always have gratitude and, you know, revere whoever has to be revered. Very nice. Thank you. Anyone else would like to share anything, please?
Yeah. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, Auntie.
The relationship between the king and his subjects was so close that a child was born to Maharaja, but the subjects are enjoying that occasion with festivities, and that shows how a Raja should be there and how his subjects should be there. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, Auntie. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yes, Aishan, please go ahead.
Sorry, just to add specifically to what Auntie was saying, like I think in the English translation you had read, Uncle, that they said that the minister announced that a prince was born to us and that's exactly what as Auntie was saying.
Yeah, very, very nice. You know, it's the prince is equally valuable, you know, someone to be born for every single subject. Very, very nice. Yes, Sister Aruna, please.
Sai Ram, brother. I just trying to understand that, you know, why the lineage is very much important. And even in Swami's Astotram, we say that at this point of time, now I'm thinking, what is the importance about this lineage? I'm trying to understand.
Can you repeat, Sister? It's Sister. The last sentence.
See, the king was really worried about having lineage. A son, and the lineage. Why that is very much important. I know those days the lineage is important for this. Even now we continue. Is there anything that is like something we are following, or something is spiritually there is something about the lineage? Even in Stotram we say Swami's lineage. So I'm trying to now understand a little more about that.
Thank you very much, Sister.
At this point. Thank you, Sai Ram.
Thank you. So Sister is asking about the Vamsha, I think Ratnakara Vamshodbhava, you know, so we give importance to the lineage, and people are very concerned about lineage extending. What is the spiritual significance of that? Why it is so important? I think those are the questions. Did I capture it right, Sister?
Yes, brother. That is the question. Thank you. Thank you.
Anyone would like to share? You know, what is this lineage, you know, our descendants, you know, type of thing, which Swami has, you know, in the Ramakatha Rasavahini it's captured. So I will just open it up for others to share your thoughts. Is this important? Does it have a spiritual significance? I think those are things. The silence. Okay, so if no one is talking, then maybe I will let fill the silence. But you know, anyone who wants to say something, please raise your hands. and I will right away let you speak. I think people are trying to process also, I guess. Sister, when the Lord created who are called Prajapatis. Prajapati is the question, they were the first people created by Brahma to procreate and to keep the earth alive. So that was considered their duty. So I think from that time onwards, everyone felt that the reason for you have a lineage is you feel that is your contribution for the future. It is not just begetting a children, but getting in good children, bringing them up well, so they can become they can be contributors to the society. And that is the greatest gift everyone gives. So the lineage is nothing but a gift to the society by every individual. So that's why they always were concerned about good children to be born. And in each of the skill or trade which people are following, that also has to be kept alive. And so the knowledge has to be passed on. So even the Vedas, Swami says some of the names given to the Veda is that it is passed on and kept alive. So one of the reasons for lineage was to pass on knowledge, spiritual knowledge, to the future generations, number one. And also to make sure that you contribute something to the society. Because we were also begotten by somebody and somebody invested a lot. That's why we are here today. So that's also giving back to the society the same type of actions which our own parents did, their own self-sacrifices in bringing us up together. So that way, it's also a way of showing our own gratitude to society at large. So I'll stop here. Yes, Sai Satish, please go ahead.
Sai Ram, I was just echoing your thoughts. So even as we talk about lineage, we also see Yata Raja Tata Praja. So at that level, we also have read how the king is the heart and the subjects are the body. So at that level of a king, at the physicality of things, leaving aside the mental plane and the spiritual plane, just at the physicality, because a good king again means everything is dharmic. Yajnas and yagas will happen on time, which again at the physicality of the world, rains will be on time. Agriculture and food will be available to everybody. The niti and nijayati in terms of justice and the makeup of society, the fostering of all the ashramas, right from brahmacharya, grihastha, vanaprastha, sannyasa. That is why I think at the end of the day, just that one person, the right person heading the whole of the makeup, at the end of the day ensures how society at large will function. And that is where the whole thing of Dileepa is coming back again and again. He's not worried about him or Sudakshina being parents, but it's more about them getting a child who will be a parent to the entire society, which is what is the importance of the lineage at that level. And even as we talk about that, we can each one of us, like, because Swami will always say, Shrunvantu Vishwe Amritasya Putraha. Everyone is the son of or children of immortality. So that lineage, at the end of the day, having that goodness and godliness established within oneself, and that again, the son or the daughter becomes the image of the father or the mother, and that image, like the other day also we were talking about the bimba and pratibimba, how the sun's reflection falls, like that the son or the daughter becomes verily the image of the parents, and they carry forward that same tradition or dharma, whether it's the deha dharma, atma dharma, all of that goes. So that is where the importance of because it's that same seed which sprouts out and becomes that large tree. And so as long as that good seed is brought forth into the world, that is where the whole thing of the lineage, maintaining that good lineage is given so much importance. Sai Ram.
Thank you very much, Saishes. Thank you. Yes, Saishan, please go ahead.
So I guess to just follow up on what you and Anna had mentioned, Uncle, like, is it that every lineage has their own spiritual significance? And so I guess based off of what we've read, as Anna was mentioning about King Dilipa, is it that this Ikshvaku lineage represents like dharma and ideal kingship? Is that what it is? And is there any significance behind like I guess for Krishna and like the Pandavas, I guess it would be like devotion and bhakti. Is that like the correlation? Like is that what you meant by the lineages represent a specific significance?
Very good, Saishan. Saishan has asked about the significance of each lineage. So I will extend that question also. Does it mean every lineage in the world is a good lineage? Should it be kept alive? Also is something which we should ask. I will pause those questions and let others share their thoughts, please. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, I just want to share my views.
Yes, Auntie, please go.
Actually, I feel why Dasharatha, Ishwa, Dilip, everyone, why they want the lineage to be continued means they have developed a nation with they rule their country in a dharmic way. So people were all in a they want the people were to be safe, happy, and all. So if the king has no lineage, that the kingdom may go to a wrong place, to a wrong man's hand. Then the whole thing will be spoiled. That is the reason why they wanted a child, wanted a son, especially. That's what I think. Actually, that there are many words like Maindan in Tamil, Maindan, Mahan, Putra. Each word has a different meaning. Tanayan, Dasharatha Tanayan, we used to sing, Tanayan means one who works for the kingdom, for the people, the welfare of the people. So they want, why these kings, they wanted a son means they have developed a nation with good morals and good values. If it goes to a wrong person's hand, everything will get spoiled. That's why they wanted a son.
Thank you, Akka. Thank you.
I know.
Thank you. Sai. Anyone else would like to share any thoughts, please? Yes, Sanjay, please go ahead.
Sai Ram, in one of the chapters, and I'm trying to find it here in Sathya Vahini, actually, Swami talks about how or what into what family a child is born. I actually found it here. Yeah. So this is the English translation for the way it is. That is the mystery of creation. Individuals take birth according to the tendencies they appreciate, aspire for, and adopt. So the varnas into which they are born are determined by themselves and not by external authority. And there was one other summer course discourse, and I'm not able to find it, where Swami had talked about the same concept. And I think that kind of explains why the name of the lineage is a good indicator of the character and nature of a person that is born in that lineage. it's basically, you could easily infer from a person who was born into a certain lineage as being of this nature. And I think that is the reason why, I mean, even to this day, why people kind of give it importance. The family traditions and what has been the traditions in a certain lineage or certain family. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Sanjay. Thank you. Anyone else would like to share any thoughts, please? I will also like to recollect that earlier on, the curse which was pronounced by Kamadhenu was itself that when the king is not good, the lineage should not continue. That it's there itself, this lineage concept has started. So I think the lineage is equally important. And as you can see, the Kamadhenu's curse itself was such that when the king is having some defect, it was first fixed. The curse actually was pronounced so that he can be fixed, he can be reformed. And then the lineage should be given. So that way, the world is benefited. That's what good people do. And that's what Kamadhenu also will do. So I think what we should understand is everyone in this world who is born has some goodness, because everyone has an Atman within them. So it is just a matter of bringing it out. And I think Dharma Swami says, so tree is grown wild. You have to trim it and put it into shape. So the same way, and then it can continue on. So I think every lineage, every family, every individual has something to contribute to this world in a positive sense. It is just a matter of them finding it. And once they find it, as Sister Bhanu said, people cultivate some good characters in them, and then they also want that to continue on. That was the reason they felt that it was their duty to do that, to keep. So there are two things. One is just to have a child being born. The second one is making sure that we ourselves transform ourselves into good, fix our problems, and through that process, and then continue that nature, that sattvic nature, and make sure that it continues on in this world. And I think that's why Sanjay also had mentioned that that determines our own next birth also. Sometimes we are born in the same lineage also. That's also another thought. I will stop here. Yes, Rona, Beena, please go ahead.
Sai Ram, I just want to add that for lineage, yes, it is very much necessary to have good character and sanskar for the child. Here it is also a gatha of shaurya, the warriors, and protecting the kingdom from the praja is also expecting to have that particular characteristic what the father and their ancestor had. So that is why also it is very much important to the pass on that shaurya, not just only the multitude aspects, all the kind of skills, all the kind of vidya also included. So it is a very much a responsibility for a king, and that is why this lineage, having a good son is a very much important.
Thank you very much, Beena. Thank you. Sai Ram, Sai, you have another question or comment?
Not a question. I guess just clarity in terms of just the meaning. So, as you were saying, so is that just that I guess in Dilipa's case, like the dharma was practiced but not inherited, and so that is what.
No, I think there was a deficiency in the dharma, because we already read Dilipa was such a great king,
right,
already doing great things, but there may have been some defects which he had to fix, and that has to happen through an atonement or repentance, and doing what's prayaschita, as Sanjay had mentioned, something to rectify that problem in us. So I think that's needed. So all of us also have to do some self-evaluation and fix our problems and make ourselves as dharmic as possible. I think so. As you know, people say, we are not the king, so we should not worry about our lineage also. That's not so. You know, as Sai Satish mentioned, every varna also has some role in this society. They also contribute to the society's upkeep and well-being. So whichever lineage, whichever your varna is, each one has a responsibility to fix themselves, reform themselves, and then also teach, as Veena said, the knowledge, the skill, what we teach them, education, all that also goes into lineage. So it is also passing on to others what we know, having impact on the society also. That's also, it's not necessarily one has to beget a child. It also, you know, people also used to adopt children. But ultimately, are we contributing to the society matters? So, you know, it doesn't have to be from one's own, you understand? So I think that's also covered, because the Guru Shishya Parampara also is like that. You know, the teacher is also considered a parent of sorts. So I think that lineage and continuing, make sure that society is contributed through, you know, bringing up future generations. That's also a role and a responsibility. I think that also comes into being when we say lineage is just not, you know, physically a child is born. I think I'll stop here. It's 10:17. I think we have just went past. I think it is enough for us to digest and think, ponder over. We will close the session for today, and we will meet again next Friday. I hope everyone is. We'll close with the prayers. Loka Samasta prayer.